Hey racers, JonRacer3 today, back for another Hot Wheels tournament. Today we have 16 hypercars about to take on the 2-lane track into the bridge. Got some very fun cars here and a very cool track. There's going to be a lot of wrecks. I hope you guys are excited. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cars and then get started. So in the first matchup, we have the Lamborghini Huracan Performante versus the McLaren P1. Next we have the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo versus the Pagani Huayra. Next we have the Infinity Vision Concept versus the Ferrari FXX. Next we have the Koenigsegg Agera versus the Mitsuoka Orochi. And then go into the other side, we have the McLaren P1 versus the Aston Martin Vulcan, the McLaren Speedtail versus the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. We have Cyber Speeder, which is a fantasy car, versus the Lykan Hypersport. And then finally, we have the McLaren Senna versus the Bugatti Chiron. First car to one win. We'll move on to the next round. Let's get started. Here we go, Performante versus McLaren. 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the Performante is going to beat the McLaren over the bridge and taking the win. Next up, we have the Huracan Super Trofeo versus the Pagani Huayra. 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the Pagani Huayra is going to stay ahead of the Performante, taking the win. Next up, we got the Infinity Vision Concept versus the Ferrari FXX. 3, 2, 1. And look at that, the FXX is going to barely stay ahead of the Infinity, taking the win. Next up, we have the Koenigsegg Agera versus the Mitsuoka Orochi. 3, 2, 1. Now it looks like the Mitsuoka is going to fly off the track, leaving the Koenigsegg to stay on the track. Koenigsegg's moving on. Here we go. Next up, we got the McLaren P1 versus the Aston Martin Vulcan. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Look at that, and the Vulcan's going to flip off the track, which is unfortunate. It's going to leave the McLaren P1 to be your winner today. Next up, we got the McLaren Speedtail versus the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. 3, 2, 1. And look at that, the SVJ is going to barely beat out the Speedtail. Here we go. Next up, we got Cyber Speeder, the fantasy car, versus the Lykan Hypersport. 3, 2, 1. And it looks like it's going to be Cyber Speeder beating out the Lykan. Next up, we got the McLaren Senna versus the Chiron. This is the last race of the first round. 3, 2, 1. And look at that, it's going to be the Chiron staying ahead of the Senna, taking the win. Here we go, here are your next 8 cars in the second round. And for our first round, we have a McLaren P1 showdown. A white P1 versus a blue P1. After that, we're going to have a blue Pagani Huayra versus the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. Then the Ferrari FXX versus Cyber Speeder. And then finally, we're going to have the Koenigsegg Agera versus the Bugatti Chiron. Let's get started. One win to take it.
I interrupt this program to let you guys know about my gaming channel. If you guys could do me a huge favor, just go into the description and click subscribe on my gaming channel. We're going to be out posting a lot of fun content on this channel. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can get notified for every time I upload. I might upload some special stuff on here, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But that is just all I wanted to say. Now back to your scheduled video.
Here we go, P1 versus P1. 3, 2, 1. And look at that, the white P1's going to pass the blue P1 at the last second. Blue P1 getting off the track. The white one's moving on. Next up, we got the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ versus the Pagani Huayra. 3, 2, 1. And look at that, the SVJ is going to knock the Pagani right off the track, passing him and taking the win. He's going to face McLaren in the semifinals. Next up is the Ferrari FXX versus Cyber Speeder. 3, 2, 1. And it's going to be the FXX beating out Cyber Speeder. And finally, we have the Koenigsegg Agera versus the Bugatti Chiron. 3, 2, 1. And it's going to be the Chiron taking the win. Koenigsegg doesn't even make it across the bridge. Here we go. Here are your matchups. We have 2 white cars versus 2 black cars. We have the P1 and the SVJ versus the FXX and the Chiron. Who will move on to the finals? We're about to find out. Here we go, P1 versus SVJ. 3, 2, 1. And it's going to be the P1 beating out the SVJ. And next up to face the P1, we have the FXX versus the Chiron. 3, 2, 1. And look at that, both of them get stuck on the bridge, but the Chiron's going to be able to manage and roll away from the FXX. The Chiron's moving on. Here we go. Here is your finals matchup. We have the McLaren P1 versus the Bugatti Chiron. First car to 2 wins will be your victor. Let's get started. Here we go. We got the McLaren P1 versus the Bugatti Chiron. Race 1. 3, 2, 1. And look at that. It's going to be the P1 beating out the Chiron, who fails the bridge. Race 2. One more win for the P1 and it's over. 3, 2, 1. And it's not going to be over. The Chiron is going to take the win, beating out the P1, pushing it to a race 3. It all comes down to this. Chiron versus P1. 3, 2, 1. And look at that. Both cars are going to make the bridge, but it's the Chiron coming out on top, beating out the P1 and taking the win for the tournament. Thank you guys so much for watching this tournament. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more tournaments like this in the future, make sure you like the video, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.